Hello everyone, Fru here. Welcome to today's relevant read. So guys, in today's read, we're going to be looking at this fascinating article, and today's article is coming from salary.com, and it talks about 10 things you should negotiate other than salary. All right, 10 things you should negotiate other than salary, guys. So we know that on this channel we talk about technology tips, career advice, and some inspiration so you can live the best personal and professional life possible. So guys, but we also understand that salary is a very, very important consideration when people are looking for jobs, especially in technology, right? We know most people in the world don't work for charity. They don't work not to get paid, right? So people are working so they can earn some money, right? You got bills to pay, you got places to travel to, and life overall needs money, right? And salary is the way we get that money. You exchange your time and you get paid for it. You exchange your skills and your competencies and you get paid for it. And it's no surprise that when it comes to the job interview process or to career, one of the biggest consideration that a lot of people have at the back of the mind is how much am I gonna get paid, right? How much money am I gonna take home? What is my salary? I can guarantee you, I speak to a lot of people, I interact with a lot of people, and it seems like every consideration that people seem to have around job is about salary. And I think what this article and why this is a relevant read is because it reminds us that there are other things that can be considered, or that you should definitely be considering or negotiating on as you go embark on your career. That is not just salary, right? So very, very important nuggets in here, guys. This is an article that you definitely want to read, bookmark, share with somebody that might be looking for a job and going through the process, even if it's just a reminder to people who already know this information. That is important. Some of the things on the list surprised me. There are 10 things. Some of them surprised me, so I think it'll be worth sticking to the end so you can see all the things that were talked about in this article. All right, guys, very powerful. But before we dive into that, I want to talk about two things. Number one is a little bit of tongue-in-cheek image here we have on the screen, and I believe this came from an old classic movie. I believe the name is Office Space or something like that, right? I've watched that movie a couple of times, but it's really great, right? If you could accept more work without more salary, right, that would be great. This is just a funny character there that spoke in a very funny way, and this is supposed to be a joke, guys. Hopefully some of you get the joke. If you don't, that's all right too, but this is supposed to be a joke, right? I don't think a lot of people want to take this bet, right, to say, well, I'm gonna work for not much salary. But that aside, salary is important. It just goes to remind us that salary is important, and it's one of the top consideration for people as they look at jobs. All right, so but there are other considerations, and we're gonna dive into them. So before we start with number 10 here, which I'm gonna dive into, let's take a look at Three AI. So guys, Three AI is a Chrome browser extension. We really want to invite you guys to try it out. What it does is you can install it directly from your Chrome browser. So just go to Google Chrome, search for Three or search for AI bookmarks for YouTube, and it's a very simple extension. It stays in your browser, very non-invasive. It sits right in your browser. Now what it does is it allows you to interact with videos like this video you're watching, right? So let's say you're watching a video like the one you're watching right now on YouTube, and you have the extension in your browser. One of the challenges is, well, people sometimes, or the videos can get really long, right? This one is about an hour long, and it's a lecture from MIT. And you spend an hour, you've watched this video, and somewhere along the line, say like minute 30, the lecturer right here, the professor, mentioned something. That's important, right? From maybe minute 30 to minute 35, this was a very important concept that you want to always remember when you come back. Now, without Three, guys, how are you supposed to do that, right? People come back and they have to click and struggle and move around, and it's just very painful, time consuming, and not very fun. All right, now we have a different option. So what Three does is it sits right in your browser, and it offers a lot of capabilities. Number one being the capability to bookmark, right? So you can click bookmark on that video. Let's say minute 30 was what that was great. Let me actually zoom in, right? You can move it to minute 35. Let's talk here. Let's say here he was talking about quantum superposition. You can bookmark that. All right, let me actually do that so we can see if I can type quantum superposition. Let's say that was the topic there. You can bookmark that, save it, guys. So you can save it. Now it's gonna be part of your library, and I'm gonna pause this for a second. All right, so whenever we come back to this video, all right guys, so instead of spending time watching this entire video, just to remember that at this point he talked about quantum superposition with really. Now you have a very small dashboard here showing up on your browser, and you also have a very nice interface here where you can see that specific topic that was talked about, right? So if I want to watch quantum superposition, I can simply come in here, I can play that, and what it does, it takes me to that specific location, right? 30 to 35, and now I can watch it very easily. All right guys, so the whole premise here is you don't want to miss the important things in the videos that you watch. So guys, what we're calling on you guys is to try out the extension, install it as you're watching a lot of videos, interact with the videos, bookmark your favorite things, share it so other folks can have access to it, and save time, right? Because what you end up doing is you're saving time. You get to the precise location of the things that are important to you without wasting a lot of time watching things that are not important to you. So very, very powerful. It could be very time saving. And there's even more, guys. For those of you that are interested in artificial intelligence and don't want to do the work of bookmarking, we've built in very sophisticated AI algorithms into 3D AI, and what it does is, right at the click of a button, you can access keywords, topics, labels, emotions, timeline translation into everything that was mentioned in this video. Very detailed timeline translation, and you can take that timeline in many different languages. Over 30 plus languages are available for you to view the timeline. So I can click on the timeline and it takes me to the specific spot of that video. Or I can go into the keywords and say, well, in this video, I don't want to watch everything. I want to just focus on understanding wave functions, right? Maybe wave functions is what you want to learn. And you can just go ahead, click on wave functions, and now everywhere in the video, the AI component is smart enough to pull out all the detailed discussions around wave functions. And now as a learner, as a student, or as a professor, or somebody watching sports or political debate, you can click and go to that specific location where the professor or the lecturer talked about wave function, and you can watch it that way, guys. So this is a very rich, powerful, robust way to interact with videos like never before. A game changer, guys. You're gonna be putting so much time back in your pocket, and the question is now, with that extra time and with so much information that you can learn and consume, guys, what are you gonna do with that extra time? So I hope, guys, you check out 3D AI, install the extension, a very simple extension to install directly into your Chrome browser, and share it with other folks, guys. They say success loves company, so make sure you share it so other folks can get access to it and get value out of it as well. Guys, thanks for watching, and we'll switch back over to the video at hand today. 10 things you should negotiate other than salary, guys, because once you've saved so much time with Threely, guys, you're gonna have to negotiate salary. You're gonna have to negotiate some other things, guys, and you're gonna have time now to negotiate other things. And so, other than salary, what should you negotiate? So the introduction here is great. I'll encourage you guys to read it. I'll leave a link to this article again in the description below. You can check it out. One of the things that you really want to negotiate is a better title, right? In as much as it's tempting and it's important, and most people do that, to just focus on salary. Well, I'm making 80,000. Am I making 100,000? Am I making 120? Guys, title can be very important for you to negotiate as well, right? Are you having a senior role? Are you having a junior role, right? Are you an engineer? Are you a developer? Are you an architect? Those things can mean different things to different people. All right, and not only, some people might say, but why would I care, right? The truth is, employers, when they're looking at your job history, they're looking at the titles that you've had over the years, right? And if you have titles that are senior and reflective of what you actually do, guys, that can go a long way to helping you down the line for more better roles, or for more, in your career as a whole. So really paying attention, what is the title I'm going for? Am I going in as a database administrator, a database architect, a data warehouse developer, an ETL developer, a big data developer, a cloud architect, a solutions architect, or a VP, or an SVP, or a CIO, right? Because there are different things, and then that can have very different impacts to your career long term. So you want to pay attention to that, right? Don't wing it. Don't wing it, right? So pay attention. What is my title, right? Because being a senior person can mean the difference between being an engineer and a senior engineer can mean the difference between, a lot of money down the line when they're looking at your experience and what you actually did. So make sure that you negotiate and spend some time on your title. Number two, or number nine here is your wardrobe allowance. And if companies can do this, again, depending on the type of job that you are applying for, right? Some companies will provide wardrobe allowance, like for clothes and dressing and such, right? So if that's something that fits into your role, right, make sure that you negotiate that, and that could be some extra thousands of dollars in your pocket. If you have to buy new clothes, right, like for nursing, right, where they might need nursing uniforms and such, right. Police officers, they have clothes, guys. IT, usually there's not a lot of clothes in there, and we talk about IT a lot on this channel, but there might be situations, maybe sales, and you need to look good to go to customers, guys. Maybe there's something in there, guys. I can't really say what it is for you, but make sure that if that's open, and if that's open for consideration, that you definitely factor that out and negotiate that as part of the process. Transportation reimbursement, again, this is very true for people who commute, right? If you're commuting, your sales, where you need to meet customers, you need to meet vendors, suppliers, and things like that, guys, it could get really, really expensive really quickly using your car or planes or trains and such, right? So basically, you want to ensure that you're negotiating that, if you're incurring those costs on behalf of, in the line of duty of doing your work, right, that those costs are reimbursed, so you're not losing money, right? Because it will not be a good position for you to get a high salary and lose it all because you're paying for commuting and plane tickets, and that's just really not good overall for you. All right, number 7 being housing subsidies. Again, guys, if you're in a position where you might you might need to stay on company's premises, or move, or stay in a location, on some remote location, for one reason or another, and need accommodation, especially housing, you want to negotiate that the company can actually pay for that, they can actually pay for that, they can support and they can pay for that. All right, because otherwise you're gonna pick up the tab for yourself, and it could get really, really expensive really quickly if you don't negotiate that correctly. Now, number 6 is another great one: guaranteed severance packages. All right, guys, this is something that, when you're joining the job, I don't think anybody is joining the job because they're thinking about severance, right? Because you're joining the job, you're excited, you want to be there, you're thinking about how the next 5, 10, 20 years of your life, right, would be at that company, and everything will be bliss, right? But the reality is that at some point, right, in IT, the average tenure in job is about what, 2-3 years or so. By 4 years, people are really pushing it, right? So like about every 2 or 3 years, people are changing jobs, they're changing roles, they're changing companies, either voluntarily or being forced out, right? Voluntarily, you don't necessarily get severance, but if you're being laid off, you're being forced out or something like that, companies might want to give a severance package. And the question is that guaranteed, guys? Usually that can be a lot of money, right? They might pay it based on your level of tenure, how long you've been at the company, and they might say, well, for every year you get a month's paycheck or something. I don't know how they usually factor that out, and it can be different for different companies. But this could be a lot of money, and this could be something that, if you're getting laid off in a very sad situation and you're losing your job, and it could be a very difficult time, guys, any money that you get could be a good enough cushion to make sure that that the fall is not the hard one, that you have a cushion to be able to bounce back to full employment. So guys, this is something you cannot afford to employ or to ignore. Not every company guarantees this, and if there's something in the clause as you're negotiating, guys, having that at the back of your mind, that if you were to be let go of your job for some reason, other than gross negligence or something like that, or a layoff, that due to no fault of your own, of course, and this is important, due to no fault of your own, that there is some severance, right? You're not gonna go and do bad work and get fired and then hope to get severance, right? It doesn't work that way. So that's something that's very important to have that. Now, number 5 is an office, right? This might not apply to a lot of people, but as you're kind of climbing up the ladder, right, it makes a difference between having a cubicle or a room with no windows down in the basement, versus having a corner office, with a view over the lake or over the city, right? And people who fight tooth and nail for this, right? Where you sit and can make a big difference. The CEOs love the great views, they love the corner office, and depending on your level or your status, right, you might really want to make sure that you negotiate this, right? Last thing you want to do is to have an option to negotiate it and you don't, and then you find yourself dead center in the office by the elevator, with no windows in your office room, and everybody's walking by and there's noise and you just cannot walk, and it could just be really annoying very quickly. And office too is another consideration, of not just the lighting and things like that. It can also be, do you want to negotiate working from home, right? Maybe the company allows people, they have an office, but you don't want to go there, and for some reason you would like to work from home and you prefer that for one reason or another. That could be part of your negotiation as well, right? If that's important to you, bring it up and have a conversation around it. Tuition reimbursement, this is very important, guys. Continuous learning, continuous education is key in this day and age, especially in technology, to stay up to date with all the innovation and everything happening around in the field, and to keep your skills sharp and top notch, guys. You definitely will be looking at some learning, and this is something where smart companies know it, right? They would know that it's to their benefit to train employees and to skill up employees so that they are competent in doing the work that they're hired to do, right? And so they're willing to pay money for that, right? And if that's something that's not on the table, guys, make sure that you negotiate it. Are you going for workshops? Are you going for seminars, conferences, right? Those are things that, right, you might not be thinking about it when signing that employment letter at the beginning, but down the road, if you have to go for a seminar, who pays for that, right? Are you paying that out of your pocket, or is the company picking that up, right? And if that's something that you need to negotiate, make sure you negotiate. Most people, you might get a job after college now, as an entry level, and you're working and everything is great, and you might be thinking, sure, I want to get my master's degree. That would be better to climb up the ladder, right? Now you're going to be learning a lot of skills, and who is paying for that? A lot of companies. Some companies, actually a lot, I should say that, do offer some form of a stipend, some allowance for people that are looking for continuous education to pick up the bill. Of course, they're not gonna foot the entire bill, at least not what I've seen, but the extra 5, 10, 6, or even $2,000 that they can provide a year goes a long way into reducing that cost. All right, so definitely factor that, right? So as I mentioned a little bit earlier, it's tempting to just be caught up on salary, but some of these things, guys, can really help you save a lot more money and keep a lot more of your money in your pocket than you realize. Now, third one, number 3 is daycare reimbursement, right? So for IT folks, professionals who have families, right? It can be expensive. Like it says here, babysitting costs can be a killer, right? It can get really expensive. So if the company does have the option to reimburse for that, you definitely want to take advantage of that and make sure that you negotiate it, right? So ask what childcare options a company offers, right? It might be directly subsidizing that. They might have daycare available on the company's campus, or they might have some health benefits and such that are available that you can use for that. But just make sure you have some conversations around that. All right, if you have a family and kids and young kids and such, this could really mean the difference between you spending a lot of money and almost losing your entire paycheck on that, or saving a lot of money. All right, and this is where if you're just looking at salary alone, a lot of these costs can be hidden. But if these costs are favorable, right, you can chop that off the top end of salary and still come up in a pretty good position. All right, so don't be blinded by salary, guys. A lot of these other things are also very important, are equally important. Number 2 is flexible scheduling. Again, this can mean different things to different people. Some people care about the flexibility in scheduling. Maybe you have a family and 2 people are working and you need to be able to have one person at home at one time and such, and be able to figure out that schedule and make it work. Guys, if that's something that is important to you and it's an option, guys, try to negotiate that, or definitely negotiate it, right? You might be living in the city like LA or some places where traffic is just insane, right? Where if if your schedule says 8 to 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 or whatever it is, guys, that it might be difficult for traffic. You might negotiate something different where your schedule might be coming at 6 and leave at 2 or 3 or whatever time it is, and so then that can give you a little bit more flexibility. Or you might work 2 or 3 days from the office at home, and then the rest of the days at the office. So there are several options. You can split this out, and it's really up to you to see what your needs are, and make sure that you negotiate that with the company as you're looking for your job. Number one, additional vacation time, right? And this is something that people again don't think about as you're signing the paper. You're just excited about salary. Guys, vacation time, if you work from Monday to Sunday, 52 weeks in a year, what will happen is you're just gonna get burnt out and be sick of your job. Nobody wants that, and that's the reason why there's vacation time, right? This is time you can relax, you can rejuvenate your body, get new energy, and then come back to work strong and energetic. All right, some people might want to go see the crystal blue waters, or sip pina colada by the side of the beach, whatever it is that suits your fancy for vacation. Guys, make sure that you negotiate it, right? Some companies will offer just 7 to 10 days of paid period each year. Guys, if you think about it, that's not a lot, right? That's about 2 weeks if you put that into working days, right? And other companies might say, well, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. There are places that go up to 5 weeks and such, right? You definitely want to make sure that you negotiate that, right? And do it. It's just like extra pay, right? Because assuming that let's say a company is paying you on the top line a little bit more money, and you have fewer vacations, guys, you're just as worse off as somebody that has the more vacation time from the bottom end, and maybe they have 4 weeks or 5 weeks of vacation, and from the top end they're making maybe $5,000 or $10,000 less than you, right? What you need to do as part of that is just do the calculation to see how much you earn per day. Do the calculation, and is that difference in vacation time, does it cover up for the top line money you make from salary itself? And if it does, then you grade off a vacation, right? And go for it if that's what's important to you. For some people, they don't care about the vacation. They would work as much as possible and take the salary and so they can keep that in their pocket based on where they are in life, and maybe debts they need to take care of or bills they need to pay. So each person's priorities can be different, right? But the takeaway from here is salary cannot be the only consideration, or should not be the only consideration. There are a lot more other things that you can definitely negotiate, right? And I can add to this list things like maternity leave and things like that, right? Promotion options, right? Do you see yourself? Of course, some of those will have to rely on performance, but guys, those are some of the things that you can start having conversations around, right? In terms of opportunity for career growth, and how many people, how big your team would be, how much resources are you gonna get. So just a lot of things that you can also figure that you can also have in the conversation. All right, but be sure to consider the entire package, right? Compensation package. So when you think about compensation, it's not just salary, it's an entire package, and all of these things work together, right? To ensure that you have you're compensated fairly, right? It's really gonna be sad if you end up focusing on the top line of making as much salary as possible, and from the bottom end it's just bad, right? Like the perks are not there. It could really be bad, and you might end up losing a lot more money, right? You might end up losing a lot more money, and things like healthcare haven't even been discussing it. So just a lot of things that you can really make sure that you have your health coverage, and dental and vision, and all of those things become extremely important. All right, guys, so thanks for watching. We've come to the end of this video. 10 things you should negotiate other than salary. Very important for in career and technology folks that we talk about on this channel. Career tips, tech tips and inspiration so you can live the best personal and professional life possible. Really appreciate you joining us for this video. We hope you like it. Make sure you like the video if you like it, subscribe to our channel, share this with somebody that might be going through an interview, or somebody that might benefit through this so that it can help them. Alright guys, thanks for watching and joining us for this relevant read, and we'll see you in the next video.